South Africa is deploying thousands of troops to help contain the violence that erupted over the last week. The military mobilization is the biggest since the end of white minority rule more than 25 years ago. At least 72 people have been killed and hundreds of businesses have been ransacked. The violence was triggered over the arrest of former President Jacob Zuma and fueled by anger over an economic crisis worsened by the pandemic. Freelance reporter Mark Roughton is in Cape Town covering this story. So, Mark, take us through the latest developments.
Well, it's a bit of a different mood on the streets of South Africa today in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng provinces, the two areas where the violence broke out. There's a lot of gratitude that it hasn't spread into other provinces, but on Thursday, for the first time, we're starting to see groups actually moving into shopping centres and venues that were vandalised and trying to clean them up. Certainly the increased number of troops from 2,500 committed early in the week to 25,000 now committed has made a big difference. Police are going to be able to cope better, but there is still an ongoing threat of new sites, new business venues being looted. So it's a bit of a better mood, but we are not yet out of the woods, and other areas are still on high alert. In the meantime, as I say, there are cleanup operations beginning, and there's been a lot of support from civil societies and different organizations trying to actually bring things back to rights. But there's a long road ahead after the impact of the damage incurred these last few days.
And now, while the government is mobilizing the military, as you say, they're not out of the woods yet. There are new reports of people also organizing themselves for protection of what could possibly come. What can you tell us on that front?
That's correct, Arthur. The situation in some suburbs from early in the week already was fairly volatile. There are already existing neighborhood watches and civil policing forums in different areas in the country, but some of these groups armed themselves to the teeth and stood their ground. And unfortunately, with all situations of vigilantism, there is a risk of things going wrong. There haven't been too many incidents reported, but there are reports of backlash vigilantism, and it's certainly dangerous having citizens walking around with live ammunition trying to protect their businesses or just keep bad elements off their streets. But there is a better level of organization now with taxi organizations, the informal taxi organizations also actually getting behind and assisting. It really is going to take a groundswell pushback because the man on the street who's been looting is not part of an organized militia. It's been mass numbers of people coming from their local communities to their local shops and helping themselves. And so the pushback at grassroots level is really what's going to keep that sort of a threat at bay, certainly in the other provinces of the country. So generally a better mood, but there have been incidences where things have threatened to get out of hand. We've had the Zulu King Misizulu, requesting that Zulu people refrain from participating in the looting and vandalism, but also asking that they avoid tension with the Indian community in the KwaZulu-Natal province, which is the second largest Indian community outside of India. And there have been issues in the past, race-based issues between the communities, and there is hope that this will not actually flare up and turn into something totally ugly while people are attempting to just protect their properties and their businesses.
All right, thank you for the latest on all of the developments there. That is freelance reporter Mark Roughton in Cape Town.